Hi there, welcome to another edition of Freeworld Heads Up. On the 6th of June today. We'll start off with currency as per usual. And we've seen a bit of a movement this weekend. Right?
Yeah, that's right. It was a quiet week till we were expecting something on the ECB meeting on Thursday, but they pretty much came out and said they were going to keep on doing the same thing. Everything was unchanged, and even though there'd been quite a lot of deflationary figures before that, indicating that what they were doing wasn't working. Friday was the non-farm payroll, which is, of course, usually a big mover of the exchanges, and we'd had a succession of quite strong non-payroll figures, and in the background we've also got the last Fed meeting minutes, which suggested that they were quite likely at the next meeting to raise rates if everything continued as it was. But the figure was actually 38,000, which is the weakest in 6 years. Plus, there was a revision of the previous 2 months, which are revised down a bit as well. So it was a very, very wet blanket that was put on the whole thing. And the euro, so of course the dollar weakened. It weakened to the level of 113.50, 113.60, which didn't seem to hit the pound so much, which still seems to be carrying a kind of Brexit burden.
Sure.
And that Brexit burden got worse over the weekend with the publication of a poll in The Guardian showing Brexit to be ahead by about 4 percentage points.
Oh, right, okay.
There's a slight ambiguity in there to do with it seems that more people who are undecided would probably be more likely to go towards Remain. So that's a countervailing thing, but over the weekend the pound dropped to 143.54, but this morning it's up to 44.50. So really it's sort of huge continuation of uncertainty, pretty much like the Scottish referendum. A lot of volatility going into this referendum, which I believe is a couple of weeks away now.
Sure.
And it does this uncertainty is starting to clog up commerce quite a bit. We feel it. It's very noticeable when the pound goes over 146.50.
Definitely, yeah.
Suddenly the phones start ringing. People start covering. Presumably sales already made. Because it's there's not a lot of spot demand these days anyway, and in case you haven't noticed, it's summertime. Generally our stuff is cold weather stuff, so it does show that there is some pent-up demand there, which will come in if the currency shrugs off its Brexit worries.
Right. Because we had INC last week.
Yeah, INC. We were looking at that with almond eyes mainly, but a damp squib. Nothing much really happened. There wasn't a lot of business done. No sign of worry from the growers again. The almond market's definitely off the bottom. Whether it's motoring onwards and upwards or whether it's just stable around these levels, we don't know. But I believe there was quite a bit of excitement about something in pecans.
Yeah, it seems to be that the latest figures from the cold storage report, that's the volume of pecans physically in cold store from the previous harvest, is at an all-time low.
Right.
So this poor crop that we heard about in sort of December, January time seems to be now physically valued at a very, very low level. There seems to be very little available. That's across multiple shippers that I've spoken to. It seems that spot business may be possible later in the year, but full container loads and larger business certainly won't be possible until about December.
And I guess that people, we thought there was an element of scaremongering, and most our shippers withdrew.
Yeah.
Quite early on and weren't offering anything for little bits of business, top-up business or whatever. And we thought it was kind of scaremongering. So, I guess there is, other people might have thought that too.
Yeah.
and now it looks like the hard fact is that there's very few in-shell pecans left for cracking.
That's it, and there seems to be very, very little available, maybe just kind of spot bits here and there. We do have a small volume of junior mammoths available, so if you are looking to cover, I'd advise doing it as quickly as possible, and please do call.
Right, time to throw the hat in on that one, I think. Okay.
Great, thank you.
All right.